Cathy Thomas. Acclaimed chef Ryan Adams has expanded his restaurant holdings in Orange County. In addition to the award-winning 370 Common in Laguna Beach, he now owns and operates Parallel Pizza in Dana Point, as well as Buttermilk Fried Chicken in Old Town Orange. It's his fried chicken expertise that he will share with us, a recipe inspired by his grandmother Mary. Welcome, Chef.
Hi.
I love your fried chicken, and you're going to do some boneless, skinless chicken thighs?
Yeah, we're gonna do a sandwich. We're gonna do a nice little sandwich that we're gonna be featuring on Buttermilk's menu. We use a boneless, skinless chicken thigh, all natural, that's been dry cured. We just got a real simple dredge. Fry it, make up a nice vinegary slaw.
And what does dry cured mean?
My grandmother always did a dry cure, so she'd always make like a spice dry rub, you know, salt, spices, and all that, and she'd just rub it on the bird and let it sit overnight. It helps wick away moisture from the outside surface, so it actually creates a drier product. My grandmother's done it this way, and it's always been worked out great.
If it worked for Grandma Mary, you know it's got to be good.
Yeah,
it's got to be good. Let's get started.
Perfect. I'm just gonna chiffonade up some red cabbage and green cabbage, equal parts. And I like a really thin slice, because this isn't gonna marinate very long. I try to keep the texture in it. We'll make it in batches, and it will sit for about 20 minutes. So,
what happens if it sits for an hour and a half?
It'll just be a little more broken down. It's not a big deal, but I like the texture difference. I have this thing, it's like layers of flavors and layers of textures. Like I think a lot of times like people will go in and have something to eat and it's like one textural note and people are just kind of like, eh. But if you got that differentiation of textures in there, it makes a huge difference. So I'm gonna add some julienne red onion.
Yes.
We have house-made pickled Fresnos.
So for the home cook, could they just use off-the-shelf pickled jalapenos?
Yeah, we do pickled jalapenos too, so you can just buy off-the-shelf pickled jalapenos. So this is like an apple cider vinaigrette. It's more like a Texas slaw. It's like whole grain mustard, apple cider, olive oil, salt, pepper. We use a little bit of pickling liquid from the pickles in there. And then this just goes over the whole thing and kind of just helps break it down. And the only other thing I'd add is just probably a pinch of salt.
That looks so delicious.
Yeah.
Even without the chicken, that would be a dandy little snack.
So we'll let that guy kind of break down a little bit. So chicken has been dry cured for 24 hours.
So that dry rub, did it have paprika in it? What's the red that I see?
There's a little paprika, there's a bunch of stuff in there. There's some secret stuff that I'm not gonna give away.
Secret stuff.
I mean, it's not that hard. It's just, you know, I took my grandmother's recipe and I kind of just broke it down and then just like started using stuff that she couldn't get her hands on. Kind of go into the flour, do like a light dredge on it. And then it goes into the buttermilk.
So it's a double dredge. Can it be dredged ahead?
You can do it ahead. The one thing that we have noticed though is don't let it sit in the refrigerator cover because you want the outside to kind of dry out a little bit. If you cover it, it tends to sweat.
So for the home cook that's entertaining, they can do it and put it in the fridge, just don't seal it up.
Just don't seal it up. I got a little deep fryer, set at about 350. Just give it a little shake, let that kind of set up.
Right. You didn't plop it in. You put the bottom in and then just slowly eased it in.
Okay, so the deal with the basket is like if you drop into the cold basket, it sticks to the bottom of the basket. But if you drop the basket in and then drop, it'll fry the outside and crisp it up enough so when it hits the bottom of the basket, it actually won't stick. We're gonna be using a potato bun, a seeded potato bun.
And you want something that's soft in texture.
Pliable. I want it to be able to wrap around it.
Right. So about 3.5 minutes on this beauty.
So the other trick too is like if anybody ever has a little deep fryer at home, when you put new fryer oil in a fryer, the proteins haven't denatured yet in the fryer oil, so it won't really brown. So what you usually do is save a little bit of your old fryer oil, like maybe like a tablespoon, and you just throw it in there, it denatures the whole thing, so then you get the browning on the outside, so you get the coloring.
That's a great tip.
We're just gonna start assembling this guy.
And you've got some aioli.
Yeah, so what we did is we get really high quality mayonnaise, and then we take sandball, and we blitz it in a blender, and then take a little bit of the pickling liquid from our house-made pickles, and we add that into the aioli, kind of thin it out, and it adds a little bit more punch to it. We make house-made pickles, so it's extra fancy Kirby, and slice it, rub it with salt, let it sit for an hour, rinse it off with hot water, And then we make our pickling liquid, which is apple cider vinegar, sugar, a little bit of salt, all of our spices, to include chili de arboro that we basically just crush up and throw in there.
If I was going to buy a store-bought pickle?
Famous Dave's.
Famous Dave's.
Yeah, the
All
spicy
right.
pickle's actually pretty good. And we're gonna just let them rest. Rest for a second. Just give it a little sprinkle. So we put this guy up here, and we take our slaw that's been sitting there slowly marinating.
I think putting those pickled chilies in there is a stroke of genius.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically our fried chicken sandwich.
Oh, it's a beauty, chef.
From Buttermilk Fried Chicken in Old Town Orange.
I can hardly wait to dig in.
Thank you for having me.
Here's a quick tip from Melissa's Produce. Celery has much more culinary potential than we often give it credit for. The crunch and rather neutral flavor make it a delicious candidate for a salad. Team it with dates, almonds, and Parmesan cheese, plus a simple vinaigrette, and you have a delicious, noisy to eat dish. So let's start it with a little talk about celery, because I keep it in 2 containers in the refrigerator. In one, I have the larger stalks in water, and these will last for a long, long time, probably 2 weeks. I put the more fragile parts in a separate container. These are the more delicate parts of the celery that have the leaves attached, and I use these up first because they'll only last for about a week in the refrigerator. And they're really, all of those beautiful celery leaves have a great flavor and a nice texture and go beautifully in a salad like this. Take off the excess moisture. We're going to cut this up, leaves and stalks. These big stalks I'm just going to cut in half lengthwise and then simply slice them about 1/4 inch thick slices. These are beautiful measurable dates. You can buy them pitted, of course, but if you're like me and buy them with the pit, I just cut around that pit to cut it into quarters and then cut it crosswise to dice it up. It kind of all sticks together, and if you're doing a lot of dates, chopping them, you can get your knife warm in hot water and then it doesn't stick. Next, we want some toasted almonds. And I toasted these off earlier in a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes. When I chop nuts, I use this cutting board that has raised edges, so fewer escape out the side. And we're just going to do a rough chop on these. Give this a quick toss. I'm using a Meyer lemon that's a cross between a sour lemon and mandarin, so it has the beautiful smell of an orange. Using my fingers as a strainer, I want to add a couple of good tablespoons, about 1/4 cup of olive oil, some dried red pepper flakes, and give it a good toss. Some kosher salt, a little bit of pepper, and last but not least, we need some cheese. And I have some Parmigiano Reggiano here. You can see I like cheese. I think you need that kind of richness of the cheese to balance out the salad. And look at how pretty that is, and delicious. The produce aisles are filled with so many delicious choices. Try something new, have an adventure,